Now that you've uploaded or created your floor plans using H2X, you're now ready to start your system design. If you're looking to do a water system design, you just need to make sure that you've selected the water, fire, and gas flow system. This might also be labeled as hydraulic, depending on the project locale you've chosen. You can also select different flow subsystems that you can see listed here. You've got cold water, hot water, warm water. These can be edited, and you can also add additional ones in the system settings. If you've chosen one of the water flow systems, you'll be able to see this toolbar to the right of that selection. On here, you can see the different flow system, pipe drawing, valve, equipment, and node tools, and we'll run through that during the rest of this video. To draw a pipe in H2X, you can either use one of these two tools at the top here. You have your main pipes and your connection pipes, or your branch pipes. The reason that we have two separate tools for pipe drawing is that you can set different material parameters and different sizing parameters, and this can be done in the system settings. To give you an overview on cold water, you can see here that we've got a maximum velocity, pressure drop rate, the materials being used for risers, mains, and branches. To draw a pipe, select one of those tools, and you'll be able to start the pipe drawing with a left click. Your second left click will enable you to change direction or change height by typing in H and entering the new height above floor that you want that pipe to run at. All of these reference heights are related to the floor that you're currently drawing on. It's also possible to draw directly from other connection points, such as this cap end, and we can run that right the way across to the other side of this room. For any water system design, it's important to add your flow source. That can be done by clicking this button at the top here and placing it anywhere on the plan, but you can also snap it directly to any cap end on the system, like I've done here. Once you've stamped that down, you can enter your residual pressure, your static pressure, and your height above floor. The height above floor can represent the mains water connection point or a stop tap. The important part here is just to make sure that this is correct in reference to your fixtures, because H2X will calculate the head difference from the difference in height. You can see that after we've connected that cold water connection into the back of our hot water plant, both our cold water pipes here and our hot water connection pipes have lit up to show that they've been connected to the great system design. If I draw from our existing pipes here, I can run this up to the side of our hot water flow and returns and bring that across and connect that directly to our incoming main. If you want to run more than one pipe at once, such as this cold water reticulation and the hot water flow and return, you can use the multi-pipe tool here, which will enable you to select all three of those elbows and turn them into T's, run them over to these kitchen sink locations. Whenever you've branched off with the hot water recirculation, you just need to make sure that you switch over to the hot water flow system, move on to either the main pipe or the return pipe, and connect those two pipes into one another. In a situation like this where it hasn't quite connected, you can do a left click and drag that over to the pipe adjacent to it. Every time you add a branch to a hot water recirculation, you just need to make sure you add a balancing valve onto the return pipe after the last connected fixture. You can select different fixtures using the drop-down menu here. You can see that we have a list of different options. The options available and the way that they are labeled is based on your peak flow rate calculation selection. Your peak flow rate calculation selection is found in the calculation methods. You can see here under water that we're currently using BS 806. We can quickly move that over to something like BS 8558, and this will affect our peak flow rate diversification calculations. To add the fixtures, select the fixture you want to use off the drop-down menu, rotate the fixture itself using the arrows on your keyboard, and do a left click to stamp that on the plan. There are two ways that you can connect fixtures. You can either click on the fixture itself, hold control, and click on the hot water and cold water reticulation pipes, and click Auto Connect in the menu to the right of the screen here. And that will allow H2X to automatically route that pipework to the back of that kitchen sink. You can see in this situation here, it's taken from this connection point and actually overlaps some of the pipes. So I'm going to redraw this manually. To click on and delete that pipe, it's a left click, and then you can hit delete on your keyboard, or you can use this button here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to hot water, grab our main pipe, run that to the behind of that kitchen sink, grab and drag this cap end, and then delete any excess pipes. To select multiple pipes at the same time, you can do a right click, hold, and then a drag. That will enable you to use this box selection tool, where if you go from right to left, it'll select everything the box touches. Left to right will be everything inside the box. Connected up that kitchen sink, and now we can use the manual tools or the auto connect to connect this kitchen sink up as well. If you don't want to go to the fixture level of detail, you can choose to use the hot water or cold water nodes on the tool menu at the top here. Clicking on the drop-down menu will enable you to select a fixture group. In this case, this office fixture group is going to include a dishwasher and a kitchen sink. The associated loading units from those fixtures will be applied to this node and will allow you to select the nearest reticulation pipe calculations. They can be stamped down on the plan like so. To connect your design between floors, you can use the riser tool here, and you can stamp that anywhere on the plan, and that will essentially become a connection point to allow you to design between different floors. If you want to select an entire fixture group, such as this bathroom that you've already designed, you can do that by doing a right click and drag to select that entire system. Use the copy and paste buttons at the bottom of the screen, and that will associate that loading on the next level. To add valves using H2X, you can use the drop-down menu here, where you can use any of the valves listed off this menu. To use the custom valve as an example, you can change the name. You can also set the pressure drop method, whether it's a fixed pressure drop in bar or whatever pressure unit you want to use. And you can also use a K value for H2X to calculate the pressure through that valve. Now that all of our equipment and our fixtures are in place, we can hit results, and H2X is going to size our system based on the requirements of the design. Now, if we zoom in to any of these pipes, we can hover over them and we can get a list of different results. You can see that this pipe here has a peak flow rate of 0.72 litres per second associated with it, based on the diversified loading units, which total in at 45. If we go over to the filters, you can turn on these results permanently. And you can also choose to show your index circuit and your index node path, which are your worst case pressure loss based on the calculations through the pipes, the fittings, and the changing in height. Now, if we zoom out, you can see that we've got a few warnings based on H2X not being able to meet the minimum pressure requirements for our loading nodes. We can remedy this by going back to design, selecting a booster pump from our equipment menu, and stamping it down in our plant room. This can be connected quite easily using the pipe tools. And if we hit results again, those warnings will have been removed, and we'll be able to see exactly what our booster pump duty requirement is. You can also turn on your recirculation pump duty to give you your worst case pressure loss on your hot water recirculation. To share this system design, you can use our read-only link by clicking this button in the top right. That will enable another person to load this design up using that URL, and they'll only have access to the results and the result filters. If you wanted to export this as a drawing set, you can use our PDF export, which will enable you to set the drawing out using your chosen result filters and whatever configurations you want to show at a set paper size and a set scale. You can also pull out a bill of materials, which will specify the total amount of pipe, all the fittings, all the valves, all the fixtures, and the plant. And you can get a full design report, which will pull out all of the calculations done in H2X in the Excel format you might currently be used to. We also have our AutoCAD and Revit exports, but we have other videos covering the functionalities. We'd be keen to know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out to us directly. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching the video.